This video will show you how to score word dictation tasks when using curriculum-based measurement in writing, or CBMW, in your classroom. As a reminder, here are the different types of CBMW tasks and scoring procedures. Let's review how to use each scoring procedure for word dictation. Words written is the total number of words written in the sample. A word is any sequence of 2 or more letters separated from another sequence of 2 or more letters by a space. Words spelled correctly are just the number of correctly spelled words in the sample. But remember, when scoring word dictation, a student's response has to match the target word exactly. For example, if a student writes the word spot, but the word given was sport, that is not a word spelled correctly. Correct letter sequences are any 2 adjacent letters that are correct within the word according to the spelling of the word, including the first and last letters. Incorrect letter sequences are any 2 letter sequences that are not correct according to the correct spelling. Remember, to score word dictation, you need a red and a blue pen or pencil. We're going to follow these general steps when scoring word dictation probes. First, count all the words written. Next, underline any misspelled words in red. Then we go back and count all the words spelled correctly. Then, with your blue pen or pencil, mark all the correct letter sequences, followed by marking all the incorrect letter sequences with your red pen or pencil. Then we total all the scores for each scoring procedure. Here is our sample word dictation probe. So first, we count the number of words written. The student attempted 5 words, so each item counts as a word written. Next, we will underline each misspelled word with a red pen or pencil. We see in this sample the misspelled words are red, grade, skull, because the target word was skill, and print. So we can see that the student has 1 word spelled correctly. Next, we will score correct letter sequences. Let's start with item 1. The word top was spelled correctly, so we're going to put a blue upward facing caret between each set of letters, starting with the very first letter. It will look like this. Item 1 has 4 correct letter sequences. Let's do item 2. The target word is red. We see that the student started the word with the correct letter R, so they get a correct letter sequence at the beginning of the word. From R to E is also a correct letter sequence, so we put a blue caret between those 2 letters. Now, instead of the correct letter D, this student wrote the letter T, which is incorrect. For now, there is nothing else we need to mark for this word. We see that item 2 has 2 correct letter sequences. Item 3, the target word is grade. The student started the word with the correct letter G, so they get credit from the beginning of the word to the first letter. From G to R is correct. From R to A is correct, and from A to D is correct. So we put blue carets in between each of those letter pairs. So we can see that the student left off the final letter E in the word grade. But we're not scoring incorrect letter sequences right now. So for now, there's nothing else we need to do for item 3. And we see that this item has 4 correct letter sequences. Item 4. The student started the word correctly with the letter S, and from S to K is correct, so they get blue carets in each of those places. Our student wrote a letter U instead of a letter I, so they do not get credit from K to U or from U to L. However, they do get credit for the first L to the second L, and from the final L to the end of the word. Those are all correct letter sequences, so they will get blue carets in those places. So we can see that item 4 has 4 correct letter sequences. Item 5. Our student started the word print with the correct letter P. From P to R is correct, and from R to I is correct. So we put blue carets there as well. But they added a letter E, which is not correct. So they do not get blue carets on either side of that E. Moving on in the word, we see that the student does get credit for letter N to T and from T to the end of the word. So we'll put blue carets there. So we see item 5 has 5 correct letter sequences. Now let's score incorrect letter sequences. So for incorrect letter sequences, we know that we only have to look at the words that are underlined. We know that if a word was spelled correctly, it can't have any incorrect letter sequences. So we only look at the misspelled words. Item 1 was spelled correctly, so we know there are no incorrect letter sequences in item 1. Let's look at item 2. Our student spelled the word red with a T at the end instead of a D. So we should put a downward facing red caret between the E and the T and from the T to the end of the word. So looking at item 2, we can see that it has 2 incorrect letter sequences. Item 3. We know that our student left off the final letter E in the word grade, so we place a red caret at the end of the word after the letter D. And we see that item 3 has 1 incorrect letter sequence. Item 4. We need to put red carets around the letter U in this word because the letter U is incorrect. So we'll place a red caret from K to U and from U to L. We see that item 4 has 2 incorrect letter sequences. Item 5. We need red carets around the extra letter E. So we will place a red caret between the I and the E and between E and N. So we see that item 5 has 2 incorrect letter sequences. Now we can add up the totals for each scoring procedure. We see that our student has 5 words written, 1 word spelled correctly, 19 correct letter sequences, and 7 incorrect letter sequences. We hope you found this video on how to score word dictation probes helpful. Be sure to check out our other videos on how to score picture word and story prompt probes.